Go.
Alright, just to start, it is not about zombies. It is not about the world just going poop, but it is more along the lines of a test of humanity. That civilization will be tested, and are we going to survive? I don't know. And I'd like to start off with this. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and the name that sat on him was Death. And hell followed him. And power was given unto him over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. King James Bible, Revelations chapter 6, verse 8. Now, my job is to open your eyes, and to do that, I've researched valuable books and websites. I'm going to bring you the facts about ancient civilizations, foreseers, religions, and science. Now, all of these civilizations believed in 2012 and an ending around that time period, but why should we listen to them? There was Egypt, India, Native America, South America, Sumerians, and the Mayans. Why should we listen to them? Well, the Mayans and the Egyptians both had complete maps of the solar system, and we just found Pluto in 1930. They were on opposite sides of the world from each other, and at the same time, they both believed that the world would end on the exact same date. Our calendar is based off the Mayan calendar, and the Mayans were able to predict every solar and lunar eclipse and all equinoxes from their time, the time before them, and up to present. Now, I have a video of the Sumerians. Now, basically, this archaeologist found tablets, and this is how they found out about Pluto.
One of these scrolls includes a star map of what appears to be a sun and its planets. The writings include detailed descriptions and maps of our solar system matching what we know today and beyond. It includes a 10th planet in an orbit between Mars and Jupiter. It is written that the 10th planet Nibiru was thrust into our solar system and collided with the planet Tiamat. The remaining bulk of Tiamat over time became Eridu, the Earth as we know it. And the rest of her became the asteroid belt. In retrograde to the other 9 planets, Nibiru took orbit around our sun in a long ecliptic or apogee. Lasting 3,600 years, it passes between Mars and Jupiter. In recent years, based on the patterns of our known solar system, astronomers have been looking for a planet with the same orbit. In search of this planet, they discovered the planet Pluto. The search continues.
Now, they only found Pluto a little bit ago. These texts were the oldest texts with writing ever found on them and date back 6,000 years. So they knew about Pluto all the way back then, and a 10th planet. Now, they even knew about 10th planet. Now, some of you skeptics out there are thinking, well, Pluto's not a planet. Well, that's according to the 2006 definition. Nevertheless, they knew it was out there, and they knew that it was in orbit around the sun. Now I'm going to move on to like fortune teller type fields, or like prophets. And they are Nostradamus, the Freemasons, Webbot, and I Ching. Nostradamus wrote these things called quatrains, and he also had the Lost Book, which contained water paintings that predicted the future. He predicted a lot more than this, but this is just a few things that he predicted. The death of King Henry II, Napoleon's rise to power, which he considered the first Antichrist, World War I, Hitler's rise to power, JFK assassination, 9/11, and the end of the world he predicts is the coming of the third Antichrist. Now, here's an example of 4 quatrains that he wrote about the second Antichrist. Out of the deepest part of the west of Europe, from poor people a young child shall be born, who with his tongue shall seduce many people. His fame shall increase in the eastern kingdom. He shall come to tyrannize the land. He shall rise up in hatred that long been dormant. The child of Germany observes no law. Cries and tears, fire, blood, and battle. The captain of Germany shall come to yield himself by false hope, so that his revolt shall cause great bloodshed. Beasts wild with hunger will cross the rivers. The greater part of the battlefield will be against history. Now, he believes that the coming of a third final Antichrist will be the end of the world, and he believes that it will be extremely cruel and Muslim, a master of Muhammad, and he believes that it will be a terrorist. And people point to that time now because we're fighting war on terror against the Muslims. We're going to move into religions. Religions, the one thing they all seem to have in common is an Armageddon type of deal, and it's a great battle in all of them. I'm going to use Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, but it is also found in Buddhism and Hinduism. Now, Christianity is mostly found in the book of Revelations, and 7 angels are released from heaven, and they blow trumpets to destroy the world and torture the wicked and kill the wicked and then save the good. I'm going to read you something from Islam. The prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Nations shall gather and team up against you, as the predators gather and team up against their prey." The questioner asked, "Is it because of us being low in numbers at that day?" The prophet replied, "No, you that day shall be great in numbers, but you will be as powerless as the foam of the water on the surface of the river, and Allah shall remove